Hi everyone, Sean Kennedy here from Java SE Certification YouTube channel. What I'd like to look at in this video is a question from the Java Basics section in the Oracle CD. That's question 4. And what you have here is a class called calcs, and you have a package private instance variable called root, which is of type int. Then you have a constructor, calcs, which takes in an int called root as well, and then we initialize the instance variable, this dot root, to the root that's been passed in, and then we post increment the local variable root. In main, we create an instance of the calcs class, calling the reference C, and we pass in 42, so 42 comes in here as root, and then that 42 is assigned into the instance variable, and then the local variable is post incremented to 43. And then down here, we do a system.out.println of the pre-increment of the root instance variable using that reference C. Now we look at our options here. One of them is compilation failed. We have to check our code to make sure it compiles. So here's curly bracket for the class. That's going to match with that curly bracket there. There's main. There's a closing curly bracket. There's calcs, closing curly bracket. This particular line here, however, system.out.println, is out on its own. It's not inside any block of code, any curly brackets, any set of curly braces, and it must be inside a block of code. Yes, you can declare an instance variable like that, but you cannot have a system.out.println on its own like that. So that's a compiler error. D is correct. Compilation fails because the system.out.println statement isn't in a method, isn't in an init block, which would be just curly brackets, and it's not in a constructor either. But what I'd like to do now is I would like to look at that code as it is right now, and then put that system.out.println inside main after the declaration of the reference C, and then to discuss the construction of the object and then the output afterwards to make sure that everyone's clear on what's going on there. So first of all, I'll go over to NetBeans. This is the code as it stands, and you can see there is an error trying to execute system.out.println when it's not inside a set of curly braces, essentially. And now you can see when I run the program, 43 is the answer. So this is the piece of code, and you can see here I've highlighted that I have brought this system.out.println inside the main method, so it will compile. So now what I want to do is have a look at what's happening. So I'll just make this one a little bigger so that you can see. There it is. This dot root is assigned root plus plus. There's the initialization of the calcs reference C, and then there's the output of the plus plus C dot root. So if we look at the first line here, calc C is assigned new calcs 42 been passed in. That's going to create a reference C referring to an object of type calcs, and it'll have an instance variable in here called root, which will be set to 42 because the plus plus is after the variable. That local variable root would be post incremented to 43 and then destroyed because it goes out of scope. Then we do the system.out.println of the pre-increment of c.root. So the increment is done first because it's before the variable name. Increment the instance variable root in the object referred to by C, and then output that value in the system.out.println. So it goes up here, changes that to 43, and then it outputs 43. So you're going to get 43 on the output. Now there's one or two little interesting things that I would like to test as well here, just to show you. So I'll go back to NetBeans. And here, I'm outputting c.root after the initialization, after the constructor has been called, and it's 42, just to show you that it was 42. Then there's the pre-increment. That's going to output 43 as described, and there's the proof afterwards by just outputting it. So if I run that, there you can see 42, 43, and 43 for those three values there. So if you liked the video, please click like. If you'd like further content, please hit subscribe. Any other comments or questions, please leave them below. Thanks very much.